Good morning, beautiful humans. Happy Friday. Welcome to another Be in Your Body practice. I've gone to Reformer this morning and I just thought I'd jump on now. And I've got a little sneaky sauna this morning. I haven't done a sauna in weeks, so I'm looking forward to a bit of a sweat sesh. But I'm really excited to bring you a little live and a Be in Your Body practice on curbing self-doubt and building self-esteem today. It's been a hot topic in my membership Alchemy, and if you're not involved, I would highly recommend you come get involved in Alchemy. It's really vibing right now with a lot of topics on building self-esteem and curbing self-doubt and building self-love practices, which is really important and everybody needs support in. So if you're not involved in Alchemy, we would love to have you. But what's hot on my heart right now is we are going to create a practice today that is building self-worth and how we can support our body to build personal power. What I love about this topic is that self-worth and self-esteem is very nuanced. I believe it comes in different categories in our life. So you might have really high self-esteem in relationships, but you might have lower self-esteem in your business or your work or your career. So what I love about this topic is that it's quite broad and it's quite wholesome in the way that you can approach it. So I'm going to cover a couple of, key points that I've learnt in building self-worth and self-esteem, and a bit about my own personal journey in building that. So I guess how we begin, we're going to start with a practice. So if you have found a seat or you're standing somewhere, I just want you to ground your feet into the earth. I just want you to feel your feet. You can close down your eyes if you like. And I just want you to feel your feet, wiggle your toes, and just come into your body for a moment. And just take a breath exactly where you are. And if your breath felt shallow, I want you to take a deeper breath in. And breathe it all the way out from the top of your crown, all the way down your spine, and out through the bottom of your feet. If you feel like your body's gone into freeze, I just want you to wiggle those toes again so you feel really present in your body. Exactly where you are. And just taking another breath in. Longer counts in. Holding at the top for a couple of seconds. And breathing all the way out. Okay. So now that we've grounded into our body and we're in our body more rather than rushing around or seeing this as an instant fix or something that we're just going to brush past, one of the biggest indicators of self-worth or self-esteem in any area of your life is where you have self-doubt. So where you have self-doubt or you have narratives and stories that could be subconscious or they could be conscious is generally where you have low self-esteem. So let me say that in a different way. So where you have a story of self-doubt in whatever area of life, that could be relationally, that could be career and business, or that could be with health and well-being. I'll just go in those three subcategories. That is where your work lies. So for example, I have quite high self-esteem in business and career, but I've had to do a lot of work on building self-esteem with relationships. Generally, our lower self-esteem comes from the younger years in our life. So that can come from experiences that you've had, experiences that weren't positive. That could be from like early childhood. That could be in your teen years, whatever part of life that stems from. But wherever there is self-doubt, wherever there are narratives of I'm not good enough, I can't do that, of course he wouldn't like me. It could be I'm not confident enough to do that. Like all these narratives, that's like a little pixie on your shoulder that's telling you that you can't do something, or that is a narrative or a feedback loop that isn't built in grounded and centered confidence. It's affecting our self-esteem. So where I believe self-esteem stems from is our gut and our core and our center. And when we're really centered in ourselves and who we are, we can really build a sense of worth and a sense of self-love. These have been practices I've been doing most of my 20s because I really struggled with low self-worth and self-esteem in a couple of areas of my life. So I've really had to build confidence in certain areas, and there's still things that I waver with, and I think that will be a long journey for the rest of my life, and that's the work, right? But if you think about any time you felt anxious, or any time that you felt like a pain in your gut and your stomach, we've got our center and our seat of self that stems in our gut, in our center. So anytime that I've felt anxious, generally my personal power has been affected. So when we've got like big life changes, or we have to make a decision, or we're lacking clarity, generally there can be doubt or indecision that is taking place there as well. So what I love doing with self-worth work and anything to do with building personal power, it is about building confidence. And building confidence and building self-esteem is in self-reflective practices, building more self-acceptance, and doing small things that can actually create minute indicators and markers that build confidence. I truly don't believe this is a quick fix, and I truly believe in building self-esteem in those areas. It takes a lot of self-awareness, and it also takes a lot of conscious awareness of what narrative's playing out and where it stems from. Because there's always a perfectly good reason why we doubt ourselves in any area of life. And this is absolutely everybody on the planet in their own way, in their own narratives, in their own story, which is actually pretty cool, because then what that means is we can actually grow and evolve as humans, which is why I believe we're here. And we can do that in whatever area of life that we need that. So if you're wanting to grow in business, generally having a type of mentor or someone who can hold you accountable and can hold you to a higher standard, because the stories we usually tell ourselves about how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth, our self-esteem, are generally a story that has stemmed from another part of our life where there's been an indicator or an experience that has created a story that we've told ourselves. So when we've got somebody reflecting back to us a different story, that is where we can grow. Generally, we've got a glass ceiling, or generally we can be trying to sabotage that. So a really cool way is to build awareness around what area of your life you have high self-esteem and what area of your life you have quite a lot of self-doubt. So basically you've got your two indicators. So anywhere there is self-doubt, there is work to be done. Anywhere you feel really confident, obviously you haven't had as many experiences that have made you doubt yourself in that area. So pretty nuanced, pretty broad, but I don't believe self-esteem and building self-esteem is a one-size-fits-all approach at all, not like any part of life. So when it comes to building the seat of our personal power, I believe that has a lot to do with our digestion and simplifying our life. So I'm going to bring in an essential oil today because, as always, and this is one of the oils that I originally got 8 years ago when I started using essential oils. It's called ZenGest. It used to be called DigestZen, which I prefer, so I'm going to refer to it as DigestZen. But DigestZen is about digestion. So it has got like fennel, I'm going to read what's in it actually. It's got peppermint, coriander, ginger, caraway, cardamom, fennel, and star anise. So it's very, very delicious. But it's like using this not only for digestive issues. So like say you eat a meal, I use that if I feel bloated after a meal. I use that to support anything to do with the gut or gut health. But what I love most is the emotional properties of ZenGest or DigestZen. So if we're digesting a lot in life, whether that's on a screen, on TV, you've got really big life changes happening, that can make us feel wobbly in our center. And if our gut is the seat of our power and we've got anxiety or stress around making big life choices, or if we're questioning ourselves, we're doubting ourselves, this all affects our center and our gut. Also our gut health. We can be having gut issues. I first discovered this when I came back from London. I was in all sorts at the time, and one of the issues I had was around my gut health and being able to support digestion. I couldn't tolerate a lot of dairy. I couldn't tolerate a lot of gluten. I have all those things now, but at the time my body was really strung out. My nervous system was wired and I was having a lot of sensitivities to food. So if we think again, so we've spoken about self-esteem and self-worth. We've spoken about the seat of our personal power and where any anxiety or our gut feelings or our intuition hits. And if we think about the world we live in, life choices, a busy society, we've got so much information coming in on these little screens, and there's so much to digest that the body needs to digest that. And because the body keeps score, the body holds everything. So generally anything to do with the gut, I believe is about taking some time to build self-worth, self-acceptance, building our personal power in being confident in the choices that we're making, and building almost like a sureness in yourself in whatever area that's in. And then working on the physical as well, which you might need to see a naturopath. You might need to take some foods out of your diet for a little while, which is perfectly okay. But I truly believe that, and from my own experience, I couldn't have dairy and gluten for a while because my body was really sensitive to it. I have all the things now, but whenever I'm going through a stressful period or I'm having pain in my gut, which I actually have been the last month, I've been really working on where I need to build more confidence and self-esteem. Thanks for all the love, guys. It's pretty fun. What a good little Friday morning. So DigestZen. So if you think about the ways in which we digest life, if you're struggling to digest life because you've got like 10 different decisions to make, you've got too much going on, I've found using DigestZen is a really supportive tool. I usually pop it on and I rub it. I'm going to pop a little bit on. And I usually rub it clockwise on my tummy. I actually been doing this twice a day lately because I feel like there's been a lot that I've been processing, because our gut is our internal processor. So if we've got a lot of things going on in here, like it has to move through somewhere. And when we're in pain in this area, or when there's a lot going on, we generally find it difficult to process life. So if you think about DigestZen, it's a supporter in being able to digest whatever it is that we're going through. And the more we can actually move that through, not only physically, but energetically, the more we can build our own personal power, we can build our self-esteem, and we can build our self-worth. So if you're having indicators or your body's showcasing signs where it needs support in digesting life at the moment, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, energetically, it's all tied together. And if you've been around my neck of the woods for a while, you'd be aware that I have a very holistic approach to life. I believe the body is multifaceted, and it is always showcasing to us how we can support it, how we can feel better, how we can thrive. And if you're having digestive and gut health things going on, I would really look at the emotional and the energetic properties that are going on in your life and what you're trying to digest mentally. A suggestion I would make is probably digest less on your screen or watching TV, the news. Like remove aspects of life that are making you digest more until you get to a place of clarity and simpleness in your life. Simplicity all the way. I created a lot of mugs a couple of years ago and there was a summer series, and one of them was called Simplicity is Sexy. And it really is. Like, if you can simplify the things that you've got going on in your life, the clearer you'll be, the less doubt you will have, and you will be able to build small steps and small indicators of self-worth and self-esteem. So I love this oil because I use it every day. I go through stages, but at the moment I feel like my body's been digesting a lot of things subconsciously, a lot of things that have built a lot of confidence and backing of myself, which is a great indicator of building personal power. So self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, they're all tied together. I believe they are all separate, but they are one in the same. And what you're digesting in life and how you're building your own personal power is a really big indicator of what your body's showcasing to you. So the body never lies. The body's always telling us. I've got an injury at the moment that I'm still recovering from with my right knee, which I might do a little live on it in another week. So you can learn a little bit more about the ways the body shows through injury and through when you're not listening. But yeah, self-esteem, self-worth, self-love, all the things. What else do I want to share today? I hope this has been a fun little live. If you'd like to learn more about different aspects of the body, please pop it in the comments below, because the secret language of the body is absolutely my jam. So if there's a part of the body that you'd like more information on, if there's an essential oil that you want to learn more about, if you want me to do more on self-esteem or self-worth, I'll share some more personal stories of how I've built that. But yeah, I think a lot of people are digesting a lot in life at the moment or making big life decisions. I feel like it is 100% a leap year for huge things happening, not only in the world, but personally. Well, I would love to hear more about injuries in different parts of the body. Absolutely, Jacqueline. I would love to share that. I'll do a little one on my knee injury next week. So next week's Be In Your Body practice, I'll do it on my right knee injury, and we'll team it with something else. Yeah, so these topics and these discussions are something that are part of my Alchemy membership. It is such a dope membership. It is such a dope program. I love it so much. I love the women in it. We do bite-size transmissions like this. We also do live calls, and I also record masterclasses to watch in your own time. I love this program. I love working closely with women in building self-worth and self-esteem. And if you're not in it, I would love to have you involved. So have a gorgeous Friday. I hope you have a beautiful weekend ahead. I hope it's nourishing. I hope you feel well fed and well nourished. And I'll see you next week for the next Be In Your Body practice. Have a beautiful day.